Dollar yen pair has been moving higher in sympathy with US yields rising on lingering inflation fears. You can see here the US 10-year yield in red and the dollar yen in the candlestick chart, and notice how the dollar yen tracks the US dollar, the US 10-year yield very closely. There's a very close correlation between these moves. Now, the narrative over the first half of August has been that the Fed will likely have to keep rates higher for longer. This has been underpinning the US dollar Japanese yen pair and resulting in yields pushing higher. This has also meant that break-even inflation expectations have also been moving higher as investors are expecting inflation to last for longer than they previously expected, and they see inflation moving up. Now, on Wednesday at 7 o'clock UK time, the FOMC minutes will be released. Now, arguably, these minutes have less impact than they once did, with pretty clear communication from the Federal Reserve, but there is still potential for volatility. And investors will be looking at these minutes for any signs of the Fed expecting rate cuts next year. Now, if that picture emerges from the minutes, if the Fed sort of reveal that they're perhaps not going to be holding rates for longer in the way that the market's been anticipating over these first 2 weeks of August, then we could see the dollar yen quickly reverse its recent gains and fall lower out of the minutes. That would also lift gold and lift silver from its recent falls. Now, from a seasonal event perspective, the dollar yen has equally gained and fallen over the last 5 years in the 5 days after the FOMC minutes. You can see here that it's had an equal number of gains and losses over these last 5 years when the minutes have been released. The dollar yen, however, has tended towards gains with an average return of 0.20%. So will the dollar yen continue tracking higher if the Fed don't paint a more dovish picture moving forward? Major trade risks. The main risk here to be aware of is sudden dollar yen selling on Japanese FX intervention. Japan's Finance Minister Suzuki said on Tuesday that they are watching markets with a strong sense of urgency. Yen traders beware, as sudden dollar yen selling could be imminent. Remember, don't just trade it, season exit. Remember that HYCM clients can access the SeasonX product in order to analyze over 25,000 different currencies, indices, commodities, as well as individual stocks. And all you need to do is contact your account manager for a free trial and you can get started right away. Certain products and services mentioned herein may or may not be available to all clients, depending on which HYCM Capital Markets Group entity their trading account adheres to.